So Nintendo just made an announcement on Twitter unrelated to the Nintendo Direct that makes me believe that we might be getting that Direct sooner than later. And I believe that maybe as soon as next week. Let me go ahead and explain. But before, if you are new here, watch this clip. If not, then use the timestamps below to get straight to the main topic. So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye and I have about 40% sight of my right eye and it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do, but I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year. And I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here, we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional in-topic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. And I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, I'm here straight on Twitter without all the fluff, taking you straight to the actual little post that I was talking about earlier in the intro. And it says here, the Lego Legend of Zelda Deku Tree 2-in-1 set is available September 1st, 2024. So the number one reason I believe that Nintendo might have a Direct next week, as early as next week. By the way, this is just speculation. I'm not telling you it's going to be next week. It's going to be next month. Obviously, it's going to be next month, either the first or the third week. Not the second, because the second is Summer Game Fest. And so we have the Great Deku Tree Lego set announced on Twitter. This is normally an announcement you might hear about in a Nintendo Direct, because this is a crazy collaboration between Lego and Nintendo, right? And they had the Mario set, but now they got Zelda. So that is even bigger, right? So there are a couple of things that could happen, right? This normally being part of the Nintendo Direct, it's a Zelda thing for the Direct, could also point to other Zelda announcements for the Direct. And I want to tell you a couple of ones that I think might make it to this Direct when it comes to Zelda announcements, right? So again, first, this points to maybe having a Direct very soon, as soon as next week on the 5th, right? It is the 5th. Normally Nintendo does Directs in Wednesday, but when it comes to June, they've done it on Tuesdays. This Tuesday will be the 4th, or Wednesday the 5th, right? Or maybe not the Thursday. It can't be Thursday because Summer Game Fest starts on a Friday, so it can't be that same day. I would say either the 4th, the 5th, or the 5th. So these two dates, either these two dates or the 11th and the 12th, week after, right? Those are the days that I would actually say Nintendo has a Direct. But this itself can pinpoint to a couple of things happening. First, Zelda ports. Yes, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker Twilight Princess finally being ported to the Nintendo Switch right towards the end, right? Nintendo has this track record of sitting on games that have been done for a while. I mean, we just found out that they've been sitting on Paper Mario for more than a year. Can you believe that? Paper Mario Thousand Year Door released a couple of days ago. Nintendo has been sitting on that game for more than a year, right? Same thing with Metroid. Metroid Remastered. Nintendo, we found out after the game was released that Nintendo had that game done about a year or two before the game was out. And remember the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Those are three big examples on Nintendo just kind of waiting, right? The game was done the year prior. They took an extra year just to kind of play the game, go over make sure there's no kinks or little issues here and there. And so an entire year was dedicated to kind of looking up, making sure the game was good to run for the Legend of Zelda after it was done, okay? So having Wind Waker Twilight Princess there, games that have already been rumored to be done, wouldn't be far-fetched now that we have this to go along with it, right? The Great Deku Tree Lego set. Another thing that could happen is, of course, a Nintendo remake of a game. Like, I would say, I wouldn't go as far as to say Ocarina of Time remake, just because that game is way too big in order to be on Nintendo Switch. It would be on Switch too. But we would, I would actually believe more we would get a Nintendo Zelda port in the same engine built of Link's Awakening, right? Link's Awakening, really adorable, little cute here. This engine, that's what I believe we would see a remake for. Maybe Oracle Seasons, Oracle Ages, maybe A Link to the Past, right? The games like that, those type of Zelda games, I believe we would see a remake done for this Nintendo Direct and for Nintendo Switch, right? Anything other than that, I believe will be for the next gen system. Although we know with backwards compatibility, we could be saying that, hey, any game right now is literally for Switch 2 as well. Since we found out also that Paper Mario can be played in 4K resolution. Yes, the data miners found out that Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is capable of being played in 4K resolution, meaning that Nintendo's already kind of future-proofing their games with backwards compatibility and stuff like that. So that is the second thing, right? A Zelda remake. The port, the first thing. The second thing, a remake. The third thing could be the announcement of the Legend of Zelda movie. Maybe the cast. Look at this guy. Shut up, I take my money. Right? And say, can you imagine if we actually hear Eiji Aonuma, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Avi Arad, or even Wes Bell, the director of the Legend of Zelda movie, come up to the Nintendo Direct and talk about the Legend of Zelda movie, give us the release date, and maybe introduce us to the characters of Link and Zelda and their actors. You know how quiet they kept the Mario movie cast? We had no clue, not even one bit. That information never got out that Chris Pratt will be Mario, that Jack Black will be Zelda, right? That, we did not get that information before. It did not leak out. We found out in the Nintendo Direct when they took to stage and Shigeru Miyamoto announced the cast, and the cast wasn't even there. They just showed the images of the cast, right? And then for the following directs, they announced the cast one by one, and they all spoke about their past with Nintendo and so on, right? So this Nintendo Direct can not only give us some video games for the rest of 2024, but can also open the door to the Legend of Zelda live action movie. I am so on board with this theory because the movie's already been announced, right? The movie has been announced. Wes Ball, who previously stated that once he was done with the Apes movie, that he would take some time to rest and then jump into the Legend of Zelda live action movie. Now, if you guys didn't know, that movie was done back in November. And so Wes Ball has been resting already, and he was going to take a couple of months out. Let's say December, January, February. That's 3 months, right? We are now in May. Pre-production for the movie has already started. Maybe they already have Link, Zelda, and maybe King Rome, right? Maybe they have some characters that have been cast. Maybe they have the entire cast, and we get to see who will be in the movie. What main characters will actually be in the movie, right? And so I don't want to hype everybody out too much, but I'm saying this is a possibility since we did learn from the cast of Super Mario in a Nintendo Direct from out of the blue. No one knew we were going to hear about the movie in that Direct. No one knew we would see the cast of the movie itself in the actual Direct as well. So I'm just basing all this around the fact that Nintendo just issued this statement, this release for the Great Deku Tree, and how big it is of a collaboration between Lego and Zelda. And then there has to be more to it than just hey, just a simple collaboration. This collaboration was timed. It was timed with something, and so now I want to leave it to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is there a possibility? Of course, there is a possibility that we might get other ports, Zelda ports, a remake, or maybe that announcement for the live-action Legend of Zelda movie with at least, I would say at least, who is playing Link and who is playing Zelda with a release time frame for the movie. All right, my friends, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, and I'll see you on the next adventure here at the Odyssey. But before I let you go, never give up and journey on. Peace.